Mana mana. Mana mana. Mana mana. Mana mana.
Hey, everybody. Jeff Imboden here. Well, a.k.a. Jaggy Jeff, back with another podcast. What would Jaggy Jeff say? Now, yes, you're looking at my ugly mug right now because this is my very first video podcast. I'm hoping it's working because I'm the director and producer and mixer and everything else. So, yeah. Anyway, I thought for my first video podcast, this also apparently goes out as audio too, like a lot of them that you guys listen to. But I want to make sure that it's going to play on YouTube and things like that. So for my very first one, I wanted to do a special kind of interview and bring somebody on with me. Since I got video, I can do that. See, isn't that cool? And so some of you probably know that follow me that I am a afternoon DJ on KOKO Radio. That's an AM station in Warrensburg, Missouri, which is just east of Kansas City. And I've been here for 21 years, but I want to introduce a guy here that's just getting ready to celebrate his umpteenth year at KOKO. I want to bring in Marion Woody Woods here. Come on in, Woody. How you doing, man?
Good.
If you want to put the headphones on so we can look official.
Are we official yet?
Well, we're on camera.
Okay.
So I want to make sure there.
That's the bad news.
We look. Yeah, exactly. Everybody's going, look at Jaggy Jeff, man. He's last time I saw him, he wasn't quite that gray. But,
both of us forgot to shave.
As I've gotten older, that's a lot easier to do. I don't forget. I just don't.
I don't either anymore. It's called laziness.
So I'm titling this my very first video podcast, Voice of Johnson County. And you hate it when people call you that.
That's okay.
I know you do. And the reason is that you're getting ready to celebrate. You've been with KOKO. You're getting ready to celebrate October 1st. How many years?
58.
58 years at KOKO Radio.
I guess my math is right. I started in 66.
Wow.
Right?
Wow. Now, before that, did you work at a radio station before that?
I was at KDKD, about 30 miles south of here in Clinton for 4.5 years.
Okay.
Then I've been here ever since.
Okay.
In 62 years in this business, I've been in 2 radio stations, which is rather strange.
That's probably a record somewhere.
It's got to be because most people have been in 8 or 12.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it is kind of funny. What do they say about radio guys? They never go. They never leave. They just fade away or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, sort of. I've heard that too. Yeah.
So how did you get into radio?
I've told you before it was by accident.
Okay.
I was a Coke truck driver. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
I used to deliver Coca-Cola in Clinton.
Okay.
And the radio station was one of my customers.
Okay.
So I'd stop in there once a week and to check their Coke machine and fill it up and leave. And I got to know the manager there at that time, of course, because I'd see him about once a week. And one day I mentioned to him, boy, this is hard work. I'd rather do something else. So, like this looks awful easy to me, being in radio. If you ever have a job here, keep me in mind.
Is that right?
And a week later, he stops me on the street on a square in Clinton and says, you need to come out and talk to me. 2 weeks later, I was on the air and been doing this ever since.
So had anybody told you had a radio voice or anything like that?
No.
Had you done?
No, I've never heard that.
Okay.
I did go to DeVry Technical Institute in Chicago.
Okay.
And my ambition at that time was television. I wanted to be, in the back of my mind, I was going to end up as a cameraman for Major League Baseball.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be the cameraman to see baseball games every day.
Yeah. That's probably for young guys, though. I'm thinking that can be
I was
pretty tough
a teenager. Yeah. I started thinking like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that never panned out. But what did is fine.
Yeah.
It worked out pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. So,
but it was really kind of by accident that I did start doing this.
Well, it is kind of weird because I actually grew up performing and on stage, and I'd been in front of a microphone since I was 3 years old. So it was normal to me. But had you done some stuff before DeVry or anything?
Yes, as a matter of fact, when I was in grade school, I didn't have any other talent, I guess, but I was always the kid for the Christmas program or whatever who came out on stage first and announced,
oh yeah,
what's happening.
Okay.
Here's our next song. And I was always the guy who got to do that.
Your enunciation must have been really good or something.
I have no idea. I thought at the time I just didn't have any other talent. They wouldn't let me sing or do anything else, so they just made me talk on the microphone.
Okay.
That was how that kind of got started.
Sure. So I probably should have told our audience that we're actually sitting in the KOKO studio right now.
We are, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. This building is, again, in Warrensburg, Missouri, which is just east of Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of things, I guess, I don't know if we're famous or infamous for, but we have University of Central Missouri, which is a very successful Division II university, state university in Missouri. And also Whiteman Air Force Base right over here where the stealth bombers are. And
we see them flying around all the time.
Oh, they've been pretty busy, yeah. So that's where we are, and we've got a building here on the hill, and our antennas right outside here. And this building, gosh, it's been here. You saw it built.
I saw it built 1970.
Okay,
1970. I saw this building going up. I've been in it ever since.
Okay, it's a several rooms in the building, and I know the AM studio used to be
right through that window right here to my left.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So and I remember coming in interviewing with you. I was with the JCs at the time, the Warrensburg JCs, and we would come on the air and talk to you.
Had a JC radio day, we called it.
We did have a JC radio day.
Yeah.
That was a while back.
Were you one of those guys?
I was the president of it for a while. And we did the Toys for Tots. We did the 4th of July fireworks.
Yeah.
JCs were pretty busy. Anyway, I remember coming in there. And I remember what it looked like. You've got to tell the audience the difference. I want to talk about the difference between back then, as far as the equipment and what you had to do compared to now.
Okay, the studio we're sitting in right now has no reel-to-reel machine, no cartridge machines, no turntables. In that studio that was through that window right there, there were a couple of turntables, tape machines, cartridges that had the commercials on them everywhere.
Yeah.
Now we have none of that because it all comes out of your hard drive on the computer.
It's all computerized.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, commercials, the music, everything. And
right behind you is the satellite receivers.
Yep.
Everything comes in, like the Royals, the news, the national and state news, all comes in
via satellite,
and we don't even have to be here to do it.
That's right.
But back then,
flip a button, lock the door on your way out.
Yeah. But back then you told me, well, when you said the carts, we probably need to explain it. It looked like an 8-track cartridge.
Yeah, it did. You just plugged it in there, just shoved it in like you would an 8-track. When it was time to play a commercial, you pushed a button, a commercial played. When it was done, you pulled it out, put another one in.
So it actually was a tape.
Yeah, it was a tape
inside it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a single track tape.
Single track tape.
Yeah. Okay. And I remember coming out here in the 80s, we had to cut some commercials. My wife ran for office way back in the day, and we went downstairs, and you had a soundproof room.
That room is still there, but it doesn't look too good.
It doesn't look too good, but it's still got the foam and stuff on the walls and ceiling and cork.
Basically, it's cork.
And it's got that old reel-to-reel thing, and it's got another thing where you would cut and splice the tape. Right?
I learned how to do that really well.
Well, we might explain to them what that is, because I'm talking about you would record it onto a tape.
Right.
And this is really the way the Beatles did it back in the day, too. You know, when they first started recording, that's what it was. They use a master tape. And I'd read where some of the early songs they did, I'm getting off. Well, we play a lot of Beatles here, don't we? Where they would just tape right over. So they lost a lot of the master tapes of the early songs, She Loves You and all that. No master tapes exist because they just, for one thing, they couldn't afford to buy a lot of tape. So that's what you guys did down there. And then you would actually run it across a machine that had the reels on both sides,
Right.
had your headphones in, right?
Right.
And you could hear it.
Right. And you would pick the spot where you wanted to splice a tape, and you just actually take a razor blade and cut it. And then you go to the other end of it where you wanted to cut out a whole sentence or whatever. You go to the end of that sentence, cut it there, and then you splice the tape together. Yeah.
You want to go back to that?
No, I don't want to go back to that.
It's so much easier.
Kind of easy now.
It's so much easier now.
Yeah.
I just watched you do right before this, do the weather.
Yeah.
And you brought up Adobe Audio is what we use, Audition. And
took out a couple of gaps.
Took out a couple of gaps and cut the end off that you didn't like.
Yeah.
It's so easy. It's all computerized. But, you and I talked about, and, going back to those days and now, all the changes that you've seen in the radio business over those 58 years, well, more than 58 years.
How long is this program?
Yeah, well, I think I paid for 5 hours. I just hit my head on
it is not the same thing now as it was then. It's totally different.
Yeah.
It really is. It was like once your air shift started, if you had a 4-hour gig on the radio, you were pretty much chained to this chair because you couldn't do anything. Because when a record ended, you had to start something else. When a commercial ended, you had to start something else.
Now, did you have to? What about when the news came in? Did you have to watch the clock?
Oh yeah, you joined it live.
Okay,
everything had to be timed out to the second.
So
when it got to be,
you're watching that second hand all the time.
When it got to be 3:00, that's when your news started. So at 10 seconds before the hour, you ran an ID. At exactly 2, 3, 4, whatever time it was, that news would start whether you were there or not, and it sounded awful if you came in the middle of the first sentence.
Yeah,
you didn't want to. You wanted to be cool and do it right.
Was it so? It was tied in on like a telephone line or something, or you remember how it was tied in?
It was on a. I'm not sure it was a telephone. It was through. I'm not sure exactly how it came in. It was a hard line, though.
It was a hard line.
Yeah, it was a hard line of some
and it was
kind.
national news.
Okay. It was back in those days. We had Mutual.
Oh yeah, Mutual Radio.
Yeah, Mutual Radio. That's where we got our news back in the early days here. And I'm not sure exactly through what lines it came in on, but it was hard coded anyhow. It was boom. There's no satellite or internet or anything back in those days.
So really what you're saying is if you had to go to the bathroom, you make sure you put a long record on.
I had a couple of long records.
Album song.
Ready at all times.
In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida.
In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida, you could do that. But usually that happened while the news was on. The news was 5 minutes long.
Okay.
And you could usually take care of business.
Okay.
Within the time the news was on.
Okay.
Anything you had to do to get out of the studio, you would wait till news time and you'd try to take care of all it while the news was on.
Yeah.
But if you had a 3-minute record, you can do it a lot in 3 minutes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So it wasn't all as bad as.
And the albums,
been, I guess.
Now, did you play albums or 45s?
We played 45s.
45s.
Yeah. In my early days, when I was in Clinton, we had some albums we played down there, big band stuff or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But most of my career has been playing 45s up until the advent of the hard drive and the computer, when all your music is in there.
Yeah, that makes sense. So the 45s, did they have, and they had how long the song was? It would say 2 minutes and 30 seconds or something.
Yep.
Okay. And that's what we have now. It's just on the computer.
Right.
Which is great.
But everything had to be timed out then. Now, when you're on the computer now, the computer actually is recording news while it's playing it back.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be there exactly on time.
Right. Yeah. You just have to make sure that everything's working.
Yes.
And computers mess up sometimes.
They do.
I mean, we've had situations and people will call, man, they're listening and we're off the air and we just have to go in and completely restart the computer, restart the system. It just happens.
They have to be rebooted.
It's kind of like your cell phone, same way. Every once in a while, you got to restart that phone, or you're. So okay, so we talked a little bit about different music, and we talked about from Iron Butterfly to Glenn Miller.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Stan Kenton Orchestra. I remember playing Stan Kenton.
There you go. So I mean, through the years, so KOKO now. When I say KOKO, I'm talking about KOKO is the radio station. What a cool name for a radio station, by the way.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Because there's a lot of them that are K something.
There is another KOKO, but it's an FM.
Okay.
In California.
Okay. And when we talk about AM, some people say, what the heck is AM? You know, some of the new cars now are coming out. Some of the radios are coming out with just FM on them.
I hate that.
I do too. AM does a lot of talk radio is still on AM and sports, but
I'm an AM guy. That's what I listen to.
Yeah,
I don't even listen to FM. I've been on AM all my life.
Is that right?
I just listen to AM.
Yeah,
I'm hard-headed.
Well, you know, for a while we simulcast this KOKO on FM.
Yeah,
and it sounded pretty good.
It did.
Because, you know, the music we're playing is the stereo stuff, right? But the AM broadcast has, you know, it's definitely not stereo. I don't know. Did they come out with AM stereo at one time?
They did.
It didn't work.
Didn't do well. You know what, though? Here in this studio with your headphones on, when you get a good stereo record.
Sounds pretty good.
Really sounds cool in your headphones, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Oh, yeah, you got that song.
You got Dean Martin singing here, and Frank Sinatra's over here.
So let's talk about the difference in the different kind of music that you've played through the years. You must know a lot of songs, a lot. You know what? Difference.
I never was one to even learn the words of songs, really.
Yeah.
Although I've been kind of a country fan.
Yeah.
I like to listen to old country.
Yeah, the old classic.
I will listen to old-time country songs.
Country western is what they used to call it, yeah.
And I actually can sing along with some of those. But the rock music, I've never learned the song. I love the songs.
You know
and
the
songs. I play them, and I know them. But you asked me what the words were, I wouldn't know. I couldn't sing along at all.
Well, actually, I'm that way, too. I'm a singer, but I hear the music first. And then I have to learn the words if I'm going to sing the song. There's I think most people hear the words and they remember every word to the song.
A lot of people do.
I don't understand how they do that.
I'm a melody guy, I think.
Yep. That's what I am too.
Yeah.
And that may be because you've had those headphones on for 50, 60 years. So you got the music playing.
Could be.
So the different kinds of music. So KOKO plays what we call good time oldies. That's our title of it. But we play right now. We're playing everything from the 50s all the way through the 80s.
Yeah.
As a matter of
some
fact,
new stuff, huh?
we got that brand new Beatles song that came out last year. Now
you got that in there now?
Now and then it's in there. You should.
You didn't tell me.
Oh yeah, we put it in last year, and I haven't played it for a long time.
Oh,
but it's a cool song. One that John Lennon had recorded back in the 70s, and then Paul and Ringo redid it. It's really cool. I think we have a Michael Jackson song, the one that came out right after he died, called "This Is It."
I saw that the other day. I haven't played it yet.
We have that song. And Paul Anka wrote that song with Michael Jackson. And
really?
Yeah. And I think it's 1990 maybe. But everything else we have, we're not playing as much 50s as we used to.
You know, that's right? Too bad, because that's my era.
I understand that.
I graduated from high school in 58. So anything from 54 to 58, the beginning of Elvis.
Yeah.
And all Jerry Lee Lewis and all those.
Sure.
Ooh, that's my music.
And we're still playing Elvis. And we're still playing Buddy Holly.
And we got some Jerry Lee Lewis in there.
We have every once in a while.
Today.
Great Balls of Fire. Whoa, there it is right there.
Today.
Yeah. And actually, I like Breathless better than that. I like the song
I
Breathless.
do too. I like that.
So the different kinds of music. And I remember before I came here, I've been here 21 years. But before that, it had different ownership. And you had different kind of music playing on KOKO. It was like
we were what we call block programming. When I first came here, it was block. You ever hear of block programming? No.
Nope.
That means you played what we did. We played country in the morning.
Oh.
For 2 hours. I came to work at 7 back in those days. I played what was called middle of the road, MOR,
Okay.
from 7 until 12:30. Johnny Nace, remember him?
Yeah.
Nace Brothers' dad.
Sure. Yeah.
He came in and played country from 12:30 to 3.
Okay.
And then it was rock and roll.
So what is middle of the road? What kind of music would that be?
A lot of stuff we're playing now. That
Okay.
would be things I just mentioned a while
Maybe
ago. Frank Sinatra,
crossover.
Dean Martin.
Crossover stuff, maybe.
Yeah,
that
easy
was-
listening stuff.
Okay.
Easy,
Okay.
light rock. You could call
Right,
it that
yeah.
too.
You know,
But
it's-
if it had heavy metal stuff,
well, that doesn't sound good on AM radio
no,
anyway. It just
no,
doesn't.
No, we didn't play that.
But
Really.
we do kind of now. I mean, we play ZZ Top and
I
some of that
like
stuff.
ZZ
Oh,
Top.
I do too. I got a buddy that's from Texas. I call him Texas Steve. And he'll text and say, when are you going to play ZZ Top again, man? They love ZZ Top
Smart
down
dressed
in
man.
Texas. Yeah, sharp dress.
Sharp
Yeah,
dressed man, yeah.
Yeah. Did you go with us with Mancow when we went over and ZZ Top was at the state fair?
Did
And
not.
Mancow dedicated the UCM mule. And
I was there for that, but
yeah.
I didn't go to the...
did go to the ZZ Top. I met
Yeah.
those guys backstage
really?
and quiet, real just little small guys, just quiet, drinking their sparkling water or whatever. And then they get up on stage, and wow, wow, wow. Like, wow, who is that? Who is that guy?
With a long beard.
Oh, it was great. They were great. But yeah, and we play some of that. We still play some of that stuff here. But I think before I started here, it was like music of your life or something like that. Didn't you call it like? And it was weird.
There was about
abstract. It was
there was a couple of years in there when there was a total change
yeah,
of the format,
yeah.
a change of ownership at one time, and they wanted to play different stuff, and there was a lot of obscure big band music and stuff like that.
Yeah, it
which I couldn't
was.
figure, what are we
It
doing?
would go from this to that genre and different kinds of. It was weird. It wasn't bad music. It was just.
It was not.
It didn't seem right.
No,
because,
I did have some people listened who like that.
well,
but
okay, I understand that.
Yeah.
And we've had some people say, I wish you'd play more easier, softer music, whatever. But that doesn't go with good time oldies.
no way you can please everybody. You just
No.
have to do it and hope.
Yeah, I mean, mainly we're playing Motown, rock and roll, R&B, and some of the crossover country stuff. With Olivia Newton-John or Linda Ronstadt would have a crossover hit from country to pop,
or
and
Johnny Cash,
Kenny Rogers. I mean,
Sue.
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if they charted, we play it.
Yep, we have it.
Yeah,
I was looking a while ago. We have what is it? 3,400 songs right now.
It's about 3,500. Now,
35 now?
I think that includes the Christmas songs that we have.
Yeah,
But we still have over 3,000 songs, which to me is a lot of.
that's
It's a lot of songs, and I noticed that sometimes you and I have to go in and change the computer around because oh, wait a minute, that song played yesterday. I don't want to
play it again today. Yeah.
So, which is cool. Again, it's so easy to find a song. As a matter of fact, what's really cool, I got to tell the audience this.
Click and drag.
Click and drag. Yeah, it is. But you can, if you need a song exactly 2 minutes and 40 seconds,
You can go get one.
you can go get one.
Just
It'll show all the songs.
Copy,
It's 2 minutes and 40.
paste, copy, paste. There it is.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So that's why you and I know you do the morning show, I do the afternoon, Monday through Friday, that we've got it where, you don't have a song that bleeds over into the next hour, 3 or 4 minutes into the next hour.
Yeah.
You can time it out.
Yep.
As long as the computer's working, you can time it out.
And it works 99% of the time.
It does. Yeah, it does. And
No problem.
now,
Excuse me.
how many ownerships have you been through? Do you know?
1,
Including the
2,
newest.
3, 4.
4? Okay.
4. Yeah.
Oh, 44 and 58.
Well,
yeah, I mean,
that's 4 here, and then 1.5 at my other station.
were you the half?
No, it was a son of somebody who owned it before. I call that a
okay.
half.
Okay.
It was different.
The son was there, but not really there. So did you, were you ever had ownership
Nope.
of the radio station?
Nope.
Okay. Didn't want it.
Well, I tried one time, but it didn't work out.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of guys and I made a bid to buy a station one time,
Okay.
and they turned us down. And I said, that's okay with me. I'll just continue to do what I'm doing. And that's what I've done. I saved my money.
Yeah, exactly. So the other thing that you and I were talking about, you've had the opportunity to meet a lot of pretty cool people and people in the entertainment business, political, politics, important people. I remember you used to do something over in Jefferson City, the capital of Missouri, every year.
Yeah.
That they would bring you over for a whole day or a whole morning, I guess.
Yeah, it was 4 hours usually from like 8 to noon.
And you do a live show. What did you call that?
It was just live from the Capitol.
Okay, live from the Capitol.
Yeah.
And you got to interview all the way up to the governor, attorney general, senators.
The first interview I ever did, I'm bleeding.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to show the audience that.
Don't show them the
Might
blood,
have somebody weak stomach.
I
told, as a matter of fact, I'll tell the audience, I told Woody, I said, right before we were getting ready to record this, I had a bloody nose. So I'm hoping, I got something here to catch it if I need to. So,
okay. No, I got a sore on my finger, and I was messing with it while we were talking. I'll go over to Jeff and do those, but before that, I'm going back to the very first interview I ever did. I never did any at all in my first job in Clinton when I worked there.
Right.
But I hadn't worked here, I don't know, very short amount of time, month, whatever. And Tom Eagleton was the Attorney General, Missouri, wasn't it? Or Senator.
And then
Senator Tom Eagleton was in town, and my boss one day says to me, Senator Eagleton is going to stop by the radio station here this afternoon. I want you to interview him.
And you did.
Okay.
You didn't have Google.
I didn't even know who he was.
You didn't have Google back then. You can't
no.
Blue Tom Eagleton.
So I'm trying to do an interview with somebody I didn't have a clue who he was.
Yeah. That's tough. It's hard to talk about the weather for 10 minutes.
Yeah. So that was one of the tougher things I've tried to do.
Yeah.
Another one too. Warren Lovinger was the president at UCM.
Yes.
When I first came to town.
Has some buildings named after him.
Yes, indeed. So I was asked to go over to his office and do an interview with him to play on the radio.
Yeah.
And that's about as most nervous as I've ever been, I think.
Say, okay, what do I ask?
It wasn't easy to talk to.
Yeah.
And I got it done. You find a way to get things done.
You do. You do. I got a quick story about that. I just want to remind everybody that I'm Jaggy Jeff here on my podcast, What Would Jaggy Jeff Say? And appreciate you guys watching and listening. And I'm with Marion Woods. Everybody knows him as Woody. Remember how you got that name? Did you give it yourself?
I gave it to myself.
Okay.
Like you got Jaggy? How did you get Jaggy?
No, I got Jaggy when Ron McKay here, another DJ, he said, you need a radio name, a moniker, I guess is what you call it. Well, okay. I like Jeff, but he said at the time I was driving this old Jaguar.
Yeah.
Old.
I remember that.
Yeah. He says, well, Jaguar Jeff. I go, that sounds stupid. That sounds really dumb. And finally he came out to Jaggy, from Jaguar Jeff to Jaggy Jeff. And what's funny now is I've been on the radio long enough that people will yell at, like they'll, hey, Woody.
That's what everybody calls me.
Jaggy, you know? Yeah. It's kind of fun.
A lot of people listen to me on the radio don't even know what my first name is.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know at the beginning.
Just Woody. It's one name guy.
Yeah.
Woody.
You're it. Like that. Your first name was John Wayne's first name, wasn't it? I think so.
Marion. Yeah. John Wayne was Marion Michael Morrison.
Something like right? That. Yeah. From a little town up in Iowa. Mm-hmm. So speaking of famous people, who would you think would be the most famous person you've been able to either interview or meet? Of course, I got you to meet Charo, Woody.
Yes.
I got you to meet Charo.
Yes, you
That
did.
was special.
Over at the university.
Over at the university.
When you were working over there.
That's pretty special.
Yeah.
I got a picture.
I also met the Osmond brothers over there.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I got a picture of that even,
Yes.
as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
I'm looking here at a list. I had made a list of, you'd asked me some interviews that I'd done.
Sure.
And one right here in the building. Do you remember Susan Olson?
Yeah. She was on a TV show.
8 is enough?
8 is enough. Yeah. 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 She was one of the kids.
Did her interview right here on the radio station one
What
time.
was she?
That was a long one, too. Usually interviews are 15 minutes or
Yeah.
whatever because that's time constraints.
Yeah.
Talked to her over 30 minutes.
What was she here for?
She was a friend of a friend
Oh,
of mine.
okay.
And she was in town with him for Christmas,
Oh,
for the holidays.
cool.
And he called me and said, "Would you like to interview Susan?" I said, "Yeah."
Why not?
Bring her out. And he did.
Oh, cool.
And
So she could talk about Hollywood and all. Really?
yeah, we did. We had a nice conversation.
Yeah.
One of the interview that I really remember was Chuck Negron.
Oh, a Three Dog Night.
Yep, Chuck Negron. He had split from Three Dog Night at the time to do a solo album. And we were playing the first 45 that was released from the album. And don't ask me what it was. I can't recall.
Yeah.
And we were doing an interview. It was on the phone. It was done through his record label.
Okay.
Set it up. And all of a sudden he starts talking about his drug problem. I went, "You sure you want to talk about it here live on the radio?"
Yeah.
And he did.
Huh.
He wanted to tell how he had been a recovering drug addict, and he was very proud of that fact,
Sure.
that he had recovered from that. And we had a nice conversation about his cocaine problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how he got over it. So that was.
I'm trying to think if he's still alive. There's two of them I think they're still singing.
Are they really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think we lost one of them, but man, those guys were so good. Oh,
And the guy with the best voice in the world, I've interviewed him, Lou Rawls.
you got to interview Lou Rawls.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
And
so cool.
he sounded on the phone. It was a phone interview.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like you see him on TV or whatever.
Yeah.
He's got the greatest voice in the world.
I know.
Yeah,
And
he had a record out. This is another one that was arranged through a record company.
No kidding.
And talked to Lou for a while about his career, and he was fun to talk with. He really was.
Yeah.
So, you remember Susan Anton?
Tall blonde.
Well,
Reddish.
more reddish blonde.
Okay.
Yeah.
Singing.
She was on the
singer?
Johnny Carson show one night.
Okay.
And I saw her, and I thought, you know what? And I liked to, at that time, I had a thing I was doing where I would see if I could contact people.
Oh.
It was a game I was playing with myself.
Yeah.
How would I contact Susan Anton?
It's easier than you think, isn't it?
Yeah. You know what I did? I heard this one really easy. I heard her mention she was from Yucaipa, California, whatever. I called directory assistance in Yucaipa, California. Is there an Anton in your listing?
Oh my gosh.
And I got her mother.
Oh my gosh. That's cool. That's so cool.
I got Susan's mother and told her mother what I wanted with Susan. And she says, "Oh, sure. She'd be happy to talk to you." I'll tell her. I gave her my number.
That's probably when she was performing. She was singer, dancer.
Yeah. And in fact, right about that time is when she got the summer replacement show on NBC.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know this because I got stood up on our interview day. She was due to call at a certain time, and I got no phone call. About 2 weeks later, she calls and apologized and said she was on an airplane flying from L.A. to New York to visit with the president of NBC, whom I had met a couple of years before that.
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
And was getting ready to start her summer replacement. So she had to stand me up in order to go talk to
But
the
it's nice that
president of
she
NBC.
called you. She's nice that she
me,
called
and then
you.
we did a nice interview and had a good chat. I have a tape recording.
I was
going to
say,
somewhere.
did you save some of the?
I've got some of it. See that box on my desk right there?
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
That's full of a bunch of tapes.
Old tapes.
That I've some
reel to reel.
Some of these people. I haven't had them out in years.
So they're reel to reel.
They're reel to reel.
Yeah.
I'll have to take them somewhere and have somebody put them off on.
Exactly. Because you know what you have to do when you do that? You actually have to sit there and play the whole tape.
I know.
Take the whole thing and get it digitalized before you can do anything to it.
I know.
It's
terrible.
A lot. Yeah.
Judy Norton. You ever heard of Judy Norton?
No.
From the Waltons.
Which one was she then?
Oh, golly.
One of the kids?
Yeah, well, she was one of the teenager.
Okay.
Played a young lady.
Okay.
At that time. Shortly after
John Boy's sister.
Yeah, John Boy's sister is what she was. She was in Playboy.
Okay.
Old enough to be in Playboy.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I said, hey, this would be a nice interview.
Yeah. In person or on?
And I can't recall the whole process, but I got her when she was filming some kind of a TV show or a movie or whatever in Canada.
Huh.
I traced her down to someplace in Canada.
And you probably used your line, I lived in Canada. And yeah, I know what you did.
Anyway, I got to talk to her and I'll probably have that interview in there somewhere too.
That is really, really cool.
Yeah.
So
can I expound on something? I just remembered something you might want to know about.
Yeah.
Back in 1974, I told you I had met the president of NBC.
Yeah.
I did at the Plaza Hotel in New York City. I was there to get that Billboard award for Disc Jockey of the Year.
I've seen that. Where did that?
I took it to my house. I got it out of here.
Yeah, you did. You were. Was that the National?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and he happened. I got that from golly, what's his name? The guy that put his hand over his ear on Laugh In all the time.
Oh yes,
Gary Owens.
Yeah,
Gary Owens was the one who was MC of that program at the Plaza Hotel in New York, and he's the one that presented me and announced me as the winner of it and presented me with the award. But the night before that, at the Plaza Hotel, I met him in the lobby with his son talking to the president of NBC, and he introduced me to the NBC president at the time. I can't think of his name. That's how I met him.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
You know, I moved to, by the way, talking to Marion Woody Woods here at KOKO Radio on a what about a 95-degree day outside, Woody?
It's supposed to be 94.
I just heard you do the weather right before we started. Crazy. And I moved here in 75 and pulled into town.
Yeah.
And I was from Carrollton, a small town north of the Missouri River. And I had done some radio on KAOL, the old AM station
Carrollton.
over there.
Yeah.
Big station. I'm thinking it was 50,000 watts or something like that. It was huge. They had, you can't,
it's a big water
you can't
station.
do that.
I don't remember
now,
what it is.
Anyway, I started at that. So the first thing I did when I kind of came into town, I remember this driving through the north part of town here, and I turned the radio on just to listen to see if there was a local station.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this guy on the air called Ron McKay.
Uh-huh.
And that said, he's pretty good. And you're playing top 40 at the time.
Uh-huh.
Definitely top 40, like PHB out of Kansas City, pretty much the same stuff, which I used to listen to all the time when I was a kid.
I did too. I listened to them too.
And I thought, well, that was pretty cool. So that was my first
listen to
KOKO,
Ron
and
McKay.
been listening to it ever since.
Yeah.
The other cool thing about us here at KOKO is that we're worldwide now. We are streaming. As a matter of fact, I don't know if they can see. Oh yeah, that's our little streamer right there. Yeah. I'm looking down here at my camera. It looks like my camera's freezing, but sorry, folks. Anyway, yeah, WarrensburgRadio.com. That's our website, and you can listen live on that. Also, we're on TuneIn Radio, which is an app on your phone.
Yeah.
It's a free app, and it works great. And we're on Amazon Alexa as a skill.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Because I've got Alexa at home, and I'll just say, hey, Alexa, play Good Time Oldies, and it'll play.
Oh, I don't have it. So
yeah, it plays it through. So, but now TuneIn Radio on your phone, a lot of times our folks here, if they want to listen to Greg do the sports, if they're at a game, a football or basketball game, they'll put their earphones, not headphones, but right off their phone, and it's great. So we have listeners that are here, like out at the Air Force Base or something, and then they'll get stationed or moved or something. You get somebody from Germany or something, and so they can still listen to KOKO, which is really kind of cool.
We've actually had people listen to us from Russia.
Yeah, I saw that. I wondered why. Is it because of it's got to be because of the music we're playing.
I don't know. I actually thought they were trying to spy because Whiteman Air Force Base is so close by.
That's a possibility.
I don't know.
That's a possibility. Yeah. Oh man, that'd be terrible.
And we've had people listen in Africa.
Well, if Russia's trying to spy, they're not getting anything from me. I'm unless they want to know about Elvis or the Beatles. That's about all I got. I have complained about certain things here in town, but nobody in Russia cares about that. So,
could I bring up something again?
Yeah.
This it's been a weird thing for me on a number of occasions because I have been on the air for so many tragedies and disasters.
Oh, yeah.
That brings back the memories.
Sure.
John Kennedy's assassination. I was the only one at the radio station.
Oh, wow.
When I got a phone call.
Were you on the air?
I was on the air. I got a phone call from a friend of mine. Says, have you checked your AP wire? And I said, no. He says, you better because the president's just been shot. So I checked that. And then for 3 days, we did nothing, played no music, nothing but talk about that. And I've only been in radio for not even 2 years.
You're kind of thinking, what do I do?
So we just faked it for 3 days of doing nothing but reading copy and talking about that. No commercials, no music, nothing. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. I was on the air when the space shuttle blew up.
Yeah.
I was sitting right here looking at the 80, TV set in the studio.
80-something?
86?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Space shuttle blew up. Then 9/11, when that happened, when the planes flew into the New York.
Yeah, that was in the morning.
I happened to have the TV on here in the studio.
Oh, you're
watching that happen.
Oh,
saw it happen.
Oh, man.
All kinds of that.
What do you say? I wouldn't be able to get on the air after that. I just wouldn't.
The hardest thing I ever did was when Kennedy got shot. I actually was talking through tears.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Well, Cronkite was too. Walter Cronkite was tearing up on TV when he announced it. It was terrible.
Yes, I know he was. And so was I.
Yeah. So I got to tell everybody that you talked about an award you won back in 1974. Well, just a couple of years ago, I'm going to brag about you again, that you won Missouri Broadcasters Association. You were inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
And that that was really cool. You got to go down to the convention.
Yep.
Right.
My comment on that is, and still is, how did that happen?
I don't know. How did it happen?
I don't know.
They just call
you? That's my question. How did that happen?
Did they just call you and say, you've been on the radio so long, you're going into the Hall of Fame?
I think that's it. I just wore them out.
Well, I mean, you were there with, there were a couple.
Bob Costas.
Bob Costas was there. Yeah.
I got to meet and talk to him a little bit.
Yeah.
It was neat to have him search me out to congratulate me on being going into the Missouri Broadcasters Hall of Fame with him.
Yeah, that was. And I'm not sure where was he when he was broadcasting? Was he in Kansas City, St. Louis? What was he doing?
He was he did the Cardinals games for a while. He worked for St. Louis radio. Yeah, he did
I thought he was St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis.
Yeah, seems like a nice guy.
He is. He was to me anyway. Yeah. I suppose he's that way. I have no other knowledge other
Yeah.
than I like him.
Yeah.
He's very sharp and very very good broadcaster. That's for sure. He's very knowledgeable on any sport you want to talk about.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So speaking of sportscasters, I got a quick story for the
Okay,
audience.
okay.
So we have had Kansas City Royals on the air for how long?
Since day one,
For
1970, 69.
Yeah, we're one of
69.
the oldest affiliates.
Yeah,
I know we are.
yeah,
An affiliate is called the radio station that has a contract and
Yep.
carries the games.
right.
So every year, I don't know, we haven't been for a while, but they would have affiliate day up at the Royal Stadium
Mhm.
and invite us up there
Mhm.
and
Been
other
there many
ones
times.
around the state. And so one year I got to go with you and Greg, who's our sports guy here, and they have a luncheon, and all the guys come in and talk to you. I think that's when we got to meet Mike Sweeney. I think I got a bat
From
Mike Sweeney.
Did
Yeah,
you really?
I think that's the time I got it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, so we got there late, and we got into the luncheon right when they were getting ready to start, and it was full. And the only table that was left was all the way back in the back by the kitchen door. And
I don't remember that.
That's where we sat.
Is that right?
So we're all the way back. And it's a long room at the state.
Yeah.
At
It was
the
upstairs
stadium.
in the.
Yeah, really nice. Looked
Yeah.
out over the field.
Yeah.
And so they served us lunch, and we're kitchen doors going like this right beside us, and we're having a good time. So finally, they get up there, and I don't know who, might have been Ryan. It kind of welcomed everybody, and then a couple other guys, and then is it Denny Matthews?
Yeah.
Denny Matthews,
yeah.
old time. Let's say old. Sorry, he's been there a long time.
Yes, he
And
has.
he's still doing
Since day one.
Still doing Royals. Oh,
Yeah.
really?
He was the first one. He and Buddy Blattner.
Oh, I used to listen to him in the 70s all
Yeah.
the time.
Well, they
Yeah.
were the first two.
And Denny's still doing it.
Yep.
He doesn't do the whole game, but he's extremely knowledgeable in baseball.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my gosh. He's like walking encyclopedia of baseball.
Yeah, especially about Royal stuff.
Wow. So he got up there and talked, and he, of all the people in that room, he called Marion Woods out from the back of the room, and because he saw you, he recognized you, and he called you out. And I don't know, it was some story he was telling, and he'd say, right, Marion, and that I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh,
You
I
don't remember
remember I spent a whole game in the broadcast booth the very first year of the Royals with Buddy and Denny and Bill Turnage.
Oh yeah,
We went up to see a game, and they invited us to be in the broadcast booth with them. And it was an 18-inning, extra inning game that went forever. And it was like 2:30 in the morning. On the way home, I hit a deer.
that's
what I
the
remember.
part you
That's the part I
you
remember.
Yeah.
Tore up my car.
Yeah, well, and some of the one of the questions I had on there that I gave you said what was some of the craziest things that ever happened to you? That's one.
Yeah,
that you remember. That you
I remember. There was another one that's really crazy. When we used to swap weekends. There was three of us working at KDKD in Clinton, and we would rotate weekends. So you'd have 2 weekends off, then you would work the next weekend.
Okay.
And 2 off and work. Well, I can remember a Sunday, we signed off at 5:00 on Sunday. It was a daytime station. So I'm reading, you had a 15-minute newscast to close your day out. You
Right.
give all the news of the day,
Right.
The weather and the news and sports, and you wrapped it up with a 15-minute newscast.
And did you and where would you get that off the wire?
No,
Just
yeah,
print it off the wire.
Yeah, back in those days, we don't
Yeah.
even need that now.
You're right.
But anyway, I have this. I've got a stack of paper here. Everything I'm going to read is right here. Right here.
Yeah.
So I'm reading on the mic, just like I'm sitting here right now reading this, and all of a sudden there's a spider. Drops down from the ceiling, boom, right there, between me and my copy.
And you're live.
And I'm live on the
Yeah.
radio.
Uh-huh.
So I lose my breath, kind of like that. I take the paper kind of fold it up and take a swat at that spider,
Yeah.
and threw my news all over the room.
You still got 10 minutes to go. You go,
Yeah.
"Whoa, I don't know what to do."
I don't even remember how I got out
What
of
you
it.
got out of it?
I don't even remember. I just
And now
remember
here's Elvis.
Yeah. But I threw all my copy just all over the room. That was the end of my
Spider
day.
sat down beside him.
Yeah. That was a big old spider. Just dropped it right down in front of me. Yeah, that's one of the crazy things that happens.
Oh my gosh. I wish I had it. I think sometime I'm going to interview probably Greg over in the FM station. We have an FM station over in the studio.
Down the hall.
But I gotta. He sent me a picture. This building's been here a long time. We have a septic tank out back, and I think either you or him came in one morning and went into the bathroom and opened the stool lid.
It was him.
It was him, and it was a frog.
A frog in the stool. How in the world would a frog get in there?
Had to come up from the septic tank.
I guess that leads you to think snake, maybe?
I don't know what's down in there. I don't even want to know. Oh, that was crazy. I think we still got the picture. We might put that on our next podcast with Greg just to show people it really was a
big old frog.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell another quick story because you talked about how early on in your career you're interviewing people and you're not sure exactly what to say or how to do it, all that early on. Well, we used to do, and radio stations still do it, what's called a remote.
Mm-hmm.
And where you would go,
tons of them.
You would sell a remote to a local business, and you'd go and actually broadcast live from their place of business or whatever they've got going on, or whatever event maybe or something.
True.
And so I had my very first remote was right across the road here at Johnson County Health Services. And it was my first one. So I said, "Woody, would you please help?" And you said, "Sure, yeah, I'll help, So I got everything. We had a tent, we had the table, we had the chairs, all the equipment, all the stuff.
Yeah.
I think we even had speakers there because we were playing music there. It was an event that they were having, a fundraiser or something. Anyway, so I had it all set up. No Woody. He's nowhere to be found. And I'm fretting, sweating. And because it was my first one, I really didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't sure if I could even hook it up right. You know? And about 5 minutes before I'm supposed to go live, and this is live on the air, you finally walk up. But you're not in a hurry. You're just kind of walking up, waving. Hey,
you're remembering stuff that didn't happen.
How you doing? No, I don't. My wife says I embellish. I don't embellish. And I'm thinking, I'm sweating, man. I got the headphones on the microphone. And finally you walk up and says, "Well, we about ready?" I said, "Yeah, we go on in 2 minutes. You sit down, put your headphones on, boom.
Go."
I thought, you prima donna. You what? And it went off fine because you knew what you were doing. I had no clue what I was doing.
I don't even remember that. I think you're making stuff up here.
Well, you can understand when it's your first one.
Oh, yeah. I definitely understand.
Oh.
I used to hate to do interviews. I didn't like to do them. I was nervous.
Yeah.
There's not much that'll make me nervous now, really.
Yeah.
I love it when people come in and sit here and just talk.
And you have people every day, right? Every morning.
Yeah, almost every day. Yeah.
You do a thing. What's it called?
Johnson County Today.
Johnson County Today.
Yeah.
And you have folks. Your calendar's full.
Had somebody from the hospital today. Had somebody from the Crestridge School District today talking about their foundation program they've got coming up. So, yeah.
And there you go. That's what AM radio is good for.
Yep.
It really is.
That's the best part of my day.
Yeah.
I like to do that now. When we started doing that kind of stuff, I didn't care for it.
Yeah.
But you can get used to anything.
I guess you can. You said you did a politician early on, Tom Eagleton. I did one time at a remote downtown.
Did you?
Yeah. And I didn't even know the guy. I still can't tell you what the guy's name because he didn't win. Anyway, they said we'd like to sit down and do an interview. Didn't know the guy. I found out he was a Republican. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And what do you ask somebody? I didn't, nothing. It was terrible.
No, it's in the beginning, those are hard. They're just kind of hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you said, though, I mean, I've been doing it for 21 years. I don't get nervous now at all. I really don't.
No, I don't either.
But a lot of people do when you stick a microphone in front of somebody's face.
I was the most nervous guy there ever was the first 3 months. When I was hired, by the way, very first time when I came off of that Coke truck and went into the studio, I gave up a job that was paying pretty well driving a Coke truck for one that didn't pay as much on a 3-month probation. I was betting on me.
Okay.
And I was a nervous dude, boy.
Yeah. Because I said if it doesn't work out.
I was just a young kid living at home with mom and dad yet.
So if it didn't work out, you were gone.
I was gone. Yeah. If it didn't work out, I was gone. I didn't have a job.
If you said a cuss word on air, you were out of there.
Yeah. I've never done that, by the way.
We did have somebody do it here.
Oh, yeah. We've had somebody do it here.
That would be Man-Cow.
Eric we've had other people do it here.
Oh,
too.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
That was back when it was live.
We had a guest here one day.
No.
Never even knew they did it.
No.
No, yeah, we did. I'll tell you a story later.
Okay. Not for children.
No, it's not.
No, this is a podcast. We can actually use curse words.
Okay. Anyway, it happened during our wine show.
Oh, okay.
One of our winery people.
Yeah.
From California, I believe she was. It was a lady.
Yeah.
Who spoke very badly.
It didn't bother. She was live on the radio.
Yeah. Made me a nervous wreck.
I got to tell our audience that you guys do a wine show every Friday morning. That'd be tomorrow morning, I guess.
Tomorrow morning. And normally, always record it and play it back Saturday. We can't do that this week.
What's going on?
Football game starts at 10 o'clock Saturday morning.
I didn't know it started at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock pregame show, 11 o'clock kickoff for the Mules.
Okay, they're
Saturday.
In Michigan.
That's
why.
Yeah,
okay.
That's why. Grand Rapids.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Well, usually,
it's played back Saturday morning.
It's 9:30 Central Time on Friday morning.
And then at 10:10.
You replay it Saturday morning. Mm-hmm. So, folks, it's a fun show. These guys have a lot of fun.
Yeah, we do.
We probably should video that sometime. These guys will have like 8 bottles of wine lined across.
That's about it is 8 bottles.
Yeah, and some great wines. And nobody ever drinks it.
Well, you're a wine guy. You know all that.
Yeah, you spit it all out. You don't ever drink.
Don't drink it. No, I wouldn't do that.
No, not be live on the air.
True.
Yeah. Well, Eric Muller got his start here.
He did.
Before he went up to Kansas City.
He worked here 4 years.
Yeah. Well, he was going to college. Mm-hmm. And I think he dropped the F-bomb one time.
He may have. He got me in trouble 3 times.
Oh, was that the story about where he said Joanne Woodward and Paul Newman was going to buy
Old Drum.
The Old Drum statue.
Yeah. Actually called the mayor up at that time and had him on the air live, and the mayor didn't appreciate it. Called me and threatened me.
That's funny. And so I think everybody knows that Man-Cow went on to be a shock jock.
Yeah.
Out in California and then Chicago.
He still lives in Chicago, still does podcasts and stuff in Chicago.
Yeah, you still stay in contact with him.
Yeah. He comes to town and we'll go have lunch together once in a while.
Yeah.
He's
got family in Missouri, I think, still.
Oh, he does.
He's from Missouri.
His brother's here.
Yeah, he was pretty crazy, but yeah, back then you didn't have the 7-second button or rule that you could.
No,
it was live radio.
It was. We could have gotten in a lot of trouble, but we managed to escape that.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I don't know if you had anything else, but
I don't think
written
so.
Down there we talked about before.
Yeah.
I hope everybody's enjoyed this. I hope it works. It's my first video podcast, so I don't know.
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
Why is it guys who do this stay forever? Why am I still here?
Well, it's not for the money.
No, it's not for the money.
Seriously, not
but
for
it's
the money.
the fame.
Probably. Well, you know, they say, oh boy, he has a good radio face.
Yeah. Not fame or fortune,
And
folks.
unfortunately, I have shown people what our faces look
Yeah.
like.
But it's a fun gig, isn't it? Don't you enjoy this?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm seriously not doing it for the money.
I'm not either.
I'm
I could retire right now very comfortably and be just dandy.
absolutely.
But I come out here because my doctor told me one time the reason you're in as good a shape as you're in is you go to work every day early in the morning.
Yep.
And that your mind is busy, busy, busy.
Yes.
Then you go play golf most afternoons. Physical
yes
activity. That's what you need to keep doing.
That they say those are the things you're supposed to do as you get older, especially if you retire.
Yes. Don't give up on stuff you like to do.
Yeah.
And I like to do this. I'd like to have a little more free time than I have.
Right.
But
right.
I would still I don't think I want to give this up.
Yeah,
I'm 83, by the way, folks, and I don't need to be
Oh,
doing
now
it.
you're saying that. See, I wasn't going to go there. I was not going to go there. But I guess if they did the math,
they're going to figure that out.
On the air for 60-some years, they'd be, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's still pretty cool. And, you know, what's interesting, too, is I'm going to give you a kudo here, is that your voice has still stayed good. A lot of people at your age have lost their voice. It's kind of like when Sinatra and those the singers, you know, they would lose their voice, and probably because you've done it this long, 5 days a week, you keep your voice in shape.
Maybe I have no idea.
Well, it is. I mean, you have to, like, as a singer, we had to do vocal exercises.
Yeah.
And keep it all strengthened and also, you know, nice and loose. And you still have that. I'm surprised that at my age, I don't have some of the voice that goes bad.
Yeah, but you're only like 45.
Yeah, right.
45 or something.
Yeah, somewhere around there. There's no reason to even talk about that. That's not even another day subject.
Okay.
Because, you know, you look at your age on your driver's license, you go, well, what is that?
Yeah.
I'm not that old. That's old. I don't understand. That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Well, we've been talking, guys. We've been talking here, and
thank you, by the way, for inviting me to be a part of your initial.
This is great.
Video podcast.
This is great. And you said how long, and I said whatever, and we've gone over an hour, which is great. And you and I could keep
We're just
talking.
boring people to death, though.
Well, we're probably.
Probably.
We are used to talking, that's for sure. We can always talk about something.
Mm-hmm.
No, and you said you love I love the job too, because I like music, and I just love playing different kinds of music and talking about it.
People always ask me, I bet you got a lot of records. I have none.
At home?
No, I've none. I've never played records out of the radio station.
Oh.
I have no music.
Oh.
No,
I think we still have some 45s downstairs. If you want to take them home.
No, I don't want any.
Ron McKay's got a lot of 45s.
Yes, he's got enough for everybody.
He's got a whole room full.
I've never collected, never bought music.
Never do, and you're not doing it because the vinyl's coming back big time.
Yeah, I've heard that.
But those albums are selling for like $25 an album.
Are they really?
Yes. I bet that it's coming back, man, because it has a different sound.
Yeah.
It really does. Now we play WAV files here, but you know, a lot of them are now the MP3 files, which is a digitized, and it's not as good. It's just not as good as a record. Has a totally different sound.
Well, we convert everything MP3 to a WAV file.
Yes.
To play here.
Yeah. And the WAV files are the best.
Yeah.
So again, Marion, Woody Woods, they call him Woody. So
thank you.
I appreciate you letting me come in and set up all my stuff here in the studio.
Up my studio. Well, it's your studio too, though.
Yeah. I point out that right to over your shoulder there is the old Sony microphone right in front of you.
Right here,
black, that black one there.
Yeah.
That's actually, and you know, they still use those mics today. It's one of the best mics
I like
made,
that mic.
Still made.
Yeah.
M7, I think it's the
right.
Shure. No, I said Sony. It's a Shure.
That's
It's
a Shure
I said
M7.
Shure M7. They still make those. That Michael Jackson used that microphone to make his Thriller album.
Did he really?
And a lot of podcasters still use that mic. But that's
This
an
is a
original.
mic.
That's an original. That Shure over there is an original.
Oh, it is.
It's
Yeah.
from the 60s. I don't know when.
We even I don't. This has been here forever. We've even turned that foam thing out wrong side out so it looks better.
So it looks better.
Not so dirty. In that
You got an
area.
old wire that's broken coming out of the back
there's a wire
of
broken
it.
over here.
Yeah. No,
And these are, you see these a lot. A lot
Yeah.
of radio stations have these.
these are used to be $500 microphones. I don't know
Yep.
what they are now, but
Probably more than that.
a lot of people use them, and we were able to hook up my laptop and make everything work. Again, thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Everybody
sir.
tune in. By the way, check me out online, jaggyjeff.com. Also, like we talked about, KOKO Radio at warrensburgradio.com. We're also on TuneIn Radio and Alexa. My podcast is on Apple and Spotify, iHeart, Amazon. It's going to be, I'm hoping this is going to be on YouTube. That's what we're going to do. And I also do a blog with the same name, What Would Jaggy Jeff Say? And I'm on social media. Check me out on social media. Thanks for listening, everybody. And always be cool and go out and make it a great day. We'll see you. Bye-bye.
Mana mana.